Historic Hingham Square is the beating heart of Hingham, Massachusetts. Today, it is a thriving crossroads, teeming with restaurants, shops, cafes, and more. Historically, however, this area has changed dramatically throughout the years. Try to imagine how this area looked before 1635. No paved roads, no buildings, no hustle, and no bustle. Just the sounds of the forest, the rush of a creek that ran through where Hingham Square is today, the tread of an animal, maybe the sound of an indigenous Massachusetts traversing down an old native trail that ran roughly where Lincoln Street is today. When the English first arrived in 1635, they deforested the area, built a cluster of buildings here, laid out 2 rough roads, and turned the once rocky wooded landscape into farms. Eventually, these buildings developed more and more throughout the decades and centuries. A bridge now spanned the original town brook that once ran wild. More roads were cut out. In the 1830s, workers churned up the hills of Hingham Square, flattening and leveling it with every scoop of the shovel and hack of the pick. Buildings are constructed, buildings are torn down. New buildings are constructed. Wood, brick, masonry, pavement replaces gravel, railroads begin to belch smoke through Hingham Square as they rattle the buildings on their way through town. Neighbors come and go, changing as frequently as the businesses do. A Catholic church opens and comes to dominate the landscape of Hingham Square. They would have never dreamed of that in 1635. Eventually, the creek is totally buried under development. The source of fresh water for the original inhabitants of Hingham is now an unseen ghost, lying beneath the feet of pedestrians. Gas lamps are replaced by electricity. Farms turn into parking lots. The train rattles the buildings one last time before it too is put underneath with the creek. Both out of sight and out of mind. Restaurants open, go out of business, and new restaurants open. Hearty American fare with English roots turns into options for Thai, Irish, Italian, and more. Culinary variety from around the world, all in one New England downtown. Eventually, historic Hingham Square became what it is today. All this progress makes one ask what will happen to it in the following years, decades, and centuries of Hingham's history.